Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my April wrap-up, so please stay tuned. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. So like I said previously, I'll be sharing with you my April wrap-up. This month flew by so quickly. Like, it's literally like tomorrow is going to be May the 1st, and I literally lost track of time this month. I feel like I read plenty, but I feel like I could have done more. But at the beginning of the month, if you watched my first vlog of the month, which I'll leave up above, it was crazy. A lot of things were happening. Didn't get a lot of reading done, but I think I made up for it later in April. So the first thing that I read was it came out earlier this month, and that is The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. This is the inaugural poem that was for the country that she had written during the inauguration of Joe Biden of this year, and so this is her full poem that she said during the inauguration, and I just had to get the book. I really wish like I could have got it signed by her or anything like that, but I'm just happy that I got this book. So I read this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, of course, because it talks about the country and how we could come together as one. There is a light that we can get to in order to achieve what we, in order to achieve what we want out of this country, out of everything. So I feel like this poem, it gave us hope, and I really appreciated this so much. So 5 out of 5 stars for this one, hands down. So you can see the picture of her in the back right here during the inauguration as she's expressing her emotions, everything, as she is saying this poem. And she even said, as she written this poem, this was during, she had changed some stuff up, and she had added things in the poem because of what had happened at the Capitol building earlier this year, as we all know. And so she had changed things in order to fit everything. And after all the terror and everything that has happened in this country, even in the history of this country, she had brought that up, and she acknowledged a lot of things in this poem if you read between the lines. But yes, 5 out of 5 stars for this one right here. Next book that I read, this is the book that I got from Book of the Month. This is one of the picks, and that is Liberty by Caitlin Greenidge. I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. Now, the reason why I did that is because I was expecting a little bit more from this book. Like, it's set during the Reconstruction era and during the time of the Civil War. And I love that aspect. It's historical fiction, which I love historical fiction. A lot of people don't really enjoy it that much, but I really enjoy it since I have a history degree. So I just like this stuff. And so it talks about the Reconstruction, about the Civil War, what was happening prior to the Civil War or during the Civil War and everything like that. And of course, this is all about, the main character's name is Liberty. And so during this time, her mother is pretty much a healer, and her mother went to medical school and everything for that. Now the reason, and as you all know, Liberty is Black. Now the only reason why her mother was able to go to the medical school, which I'm sure you believe, like, how did her mom go to medical school? She went to medical school because she was light-skinned, she was light complected, she looked white. So she was white passing. Now, when they realized she was Black, it was too late. She already got her, pretty much got her degree and everything like that. And she said that she never said she wasn't Black. They just never asked. They never brought it up. But in certain cases in this book, her mom purposely, is white passing just to get influential gains for herself, and, finances, to help her have a great life and what have you. And during this time, they live in Kings County, which is in New York, which is in Brooklyn during this time. As the Civil War was happening, there was a lot of repercussions during the Civil War. And prior to the Civil War, you had, Abraham Lincoln having the people, you should fight for this cause and what have you. And a lot of white people in New York weren't very happy. They weren't happy that they were getting sent to war. They didn't want to fight this war. And they felt like it was Black people's fault why the Civil War was happening. And so in New York, they had started hanging Black people on lampposts, and that is an actual fact. That is a true thing. They really did that. There was not just lynchings and stuff in the South. There was a lot of lynchings in the North as well. They were killing children, and they would just pick people from the street. If they say, oh, there's a black person, they would literally grab that black person, beat them to death, and hang them on lampposts and everything like that. They even marked their home saying this is where a black person lives by using like a red type of marker or whatever, just to indicate that black people live in that building and they're coming to get them. So a lot of that happened. So as Liberty and her mom live in Kings County, people that were pretty much escaping the violence and everything that was happening in New York, they were crossing the river and they were heading into Kings County. And so her Liberty's mother, as well as a lot of people, a lot of the women in the small town, which is black, the town is black, they were helping the people that were injured and everything like that. They were rallying with each other and trying to help as much as they could, giving them supplies, clothing, food, what have you. So with that and everything like that, the women of the town felt like they should have a hospital, and it was for black people only. So they were serving black people, and it was mostly for Liberty's mom because she's the healer and everything like that. She's the one with the degree. And then eventually her mom decides that she's going to also accept white people. The town did not like that at all. They wanted to have that hospital for their own people, but her mom was looking at it like a gain. And the reason why she was even able to, have white people pretty much go to the hospital, be treated. Her mom was white passing, and she was acting like that, like she was white, in order to get that influence that she needed, in order to get pretty much her name out there as well with the services and the medical stuff that she was doing for the people, or for the white people. And Liberty just did not like that. And also Liberty wanted the love that she was giving to her patients from her own mother, which she wasn't getting. Liberty, to the point, even ate something that she knew she was allergic to have allergic reaction, in order for her mother to care for her like she cares for her own patients. And I felt like that was just insane. It was crazy. And so with that alone, Liberty started to not like her mom. She started just not wanting to be near her mom, and her mom ends up sending her off to a medical school in Ohio, because her mom says, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with you. I want you to do this in order to help me in the future at the hospital and everything like that. And Liberty was thinking to herself, is that what I really want to do with my life? Do I really want to help people? Do I really want to be a nurse, a doctor, a surgeon? Like, she didn't really want that. And she felt like her mom was choosing her future for her, and she did not like that at all. So then eventually Liberty finds this man. Or she didn't find this man. This man was pretty much an intern for her mother. And Liberty was jealous at the time because her mom would just rave about him so much. And so eventually Liberty actually started liking this man. And he's also Haitian. And she started liking him. I don't think she really loved him, really. And she even admits that at the end. Like, she didn't love him. I think she was trying to love him in the fact that her mother loved him so much that, okay, I'm gonna take him away from you since you love him so much. So I feel like it was sort of like Nick for Nack type of thing, like, oh, so you like him, well, he likes me, so I'm gonna take him away from you. And eventually they do get married, and it was like they only met each other not that long, probably like a month, maybe 2, and they get married. And then they end up going to Haiti, where that's where her husband's wife, or her husband is from, where her husband is from. So they end up going there, and she realizes the family dynamic is not it. And also her husband is light complected as well. So when they go to Haiti, and he welcomes or tells his family that he got married, his family did not know anything about it. And Liberty was caught off guard. Like, seriously, he didn't tell them that we were getting married. And they also did not expect her to be dark complected, because she has darker skin. And they was not expecting that from him. They thought he was going to marry a light complected woman. And so his father, which is a bishop, did not like the marriage at all, was against it, just did not like it, especially because of her skin tone, her complexion. So she wasn't treated with respect during those times, or during those months out living in Haiti. And then of course she, during their marriage and stuff like that, he was like, I'm doing this for us and our future and stuff like that. And eventually she just got tired of it. She got tired of the disrespect from his family, his dad, his sister, who was crazy. She, and that's what she considered her sister. She really had problems. She really need help. So with that, she gets pregnant. And after she has the baby, she moves back to live with her mom. Now, during the time before she goes back to live with her mom in Haiti, she realizes she valued her mom. She missed her mom. She needed her mom. She needed her mom in her presence. And I feel like that's what Liberty realized. Like, I feel like what this book is about is, yes, Liberty was finding freedom from her mom, but she was trying to find freedom for herself and realize that she still needed her mom in the picture, you know what I mean? But there was a lot of things that were happening in this book that I did appreciate, but the point of the matter that I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars because I felt like I thought there was going to be some type of magic involved, just because from the blurb it's saying like her mom had brought back to life a dead guy. So I'm like, okay, there's going to be some magic in it, but no, it's nothing like that at all. Nothing like that at all. It's definitely was completely different. I'm like, dang, that's not y'all got me. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars for this one. I really, like I said, I still enjoyed the book, but what I expected, I was a little disappointed about certain things in the book. But like I said, it's still a good read. I still loved it. I just felt like, okay, I thought there's gonna be magic in it, so I was just a little bit sad about it. But yeah, so a 3 out of 5 stars for this book right here. Next book, which is like it's a graphic novel. I had read volume 1 and volume 2, and that is Fence. So this is the first volume, this is the second volume, and this is by C.S. Packet, with Joanna the Mad and Joanna LaFuente. So we have these two. These are pretty much talking, it's about fencing. Of course, I don't know anything about fencing. And I felt like with just these graphic novels alone, I was like, oh, fencing is pretty interesting. I'm really loving it. So we're following pretty much a boy named Nicholas, and his dad is actually a Olympic medalist. He had won an Olympic medal for fencing, and he's a legitimate son, which his dad does not bring him up, or probably doesn't even know he exists. So he goes into fencing and he competes and stuff like that. He ends up losing his first competition, his first championship or whatever during his first match. So then he goes to a boarding school. It's a high school, and he goes because he has a scholarship. So they give him the scholarship, but he still has to make the team. If he doesn't make the team, then he's not going to get that scholarship. So he's competing against like 30 boys for this fencing team, because there only can be 3 of them chosen. Yes, 3 on a team. Now, I did not know that. When you're on a fencing team, there can only be 3. That has to be intense. It has to be crazy. The tryouts have to be insane. So I really enjoyed this book. We get into the tryouts on both of these books. So pretty much we get to know Nicholas, a little bit of his background, and he loses his first match, and then he goes into the school with the expectation of, oh, I have a scholarship, but I have tryouts. Then we get into this where Nicholas is starting to find himself with fencing and everything like that, and he's starting to win his matches. And as he wins his matches, he's getting closer and closer to actually being part of the fencing team for this for his high school. So there we are with both of these. So that's how they are right now. I still need to read volume 3 and volume 4, which I don't know when I'm going to read those, because in May I have so many things I got to read. But I gave these, I believe, a 4 out of 5 stars. It was very good, very entertaining. I actually enjoyed it so much, especially about the fencing concept. I didn't know anything about fencing at all. Like, I've seen it on like during competitions and stuff like that, but I did not know the rules. I didn't know the concept of it. I didn't know certain things you do with the sword, the certain methods and techniques that I had no clue. I just thought you just poke people with it. I really had no idea. I had no knowledge of fencing and everything like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed both of these. Like I said, 4 out of 5 stars for both of these right here. Next one is a comic. I had read the first one. It's by Nydia Okorafor, and that was The Search for Black Panther, and this is the following one. So this is the second one, and this is Shuri. It is a 24/7 Vibranium. This is also by Nydia Okorafor, Vita Yala, and illustrated by Rachel Stott and Paul Davidson. Now this is following pretty much Shuri. Her brother T'Challa is still missing in the void, and so she's still defending Wakanda as the Black Panther. And so she goes on this adventure. She still tries to protects Wakanda through villains and what have you. Miles Morales is in this book, or in this series, and then I also think we have I'm trying to remember all of them. I think we have, Miss Marvel. She's also in this comic as well. And I really enjoyed it really like so much. And in this conclusion of this one, I think this is the last one that Nettie did. I'm not sure. I think there's a couple more comics that I think I need to pick up, which revolves around Wakanda and the Black Panther, is that Shuri realizes that she doesn't want to be a Black Panther, but she still wants to protect Wakanda, which she plans to do so, but she doesn't want to take on the role as the Black Panther because she knows that her brother is alive, and that was confirmed in this comic. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the graphics. The colors of this comic is very vibrant. I love Shuri so much. She's just the bomb. So I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars for this one. There are 2 more comics that I think I'm going to read that I think Nettie Core 4 has brought up. Like this one, for instance. This is the next one. This is Black Panther, Long Live the King. This is, I think it's by Nettie Core 4, featuring Nettie Core 4. So I think I'm going to read this next. So that's the next comic that I think I'm going to pick up. So 5 out of 5 stars for Shuri, the 24/7 Vibranium. Next book. I was really disappointed so much because this was my highly anticipated reads, one of my highly anticipated reads of this year, and that is Queen of Gilded Wolves, Queen of Gilded Horns by Amanda Joy. Now she had written A River of Royal Blood, that was published in 2019, and now we are in 2021, and this is the final book because it is a duology. And we learn more and we get to know more information about Ava and her sister Issa and everything like that. So we still follow it. It pretty much starts where the first book left off. And Evelyn is trying to figure out more about her history of being of her transformation, of being a Kimwar, which is what her father was. But she did not know that. Her father didn't express anything like that to her, I think because in order to keep her safe, especially from her own mother. And I feel like during this book as well, you have where 2 sisters, Issa, who was trying to kill her, they really started to have a bond, because what happened was Eva took her as captive, and they left the city, and they were traveling for months and months and months in order to discover more about her history, her dad's history, her family, on her dad's side, everything like that. And as that was happening, Issa started to realize certain things and realized that her mother was poisoning her mind, and I think that Issa was just wanting to be a sister, a big sister to Eva. But she felt like that opportunity was taken because during that time when they were kids, Eva was with her dad in Ternain from Aristai for majority of her childhood. So Issa was left alone with her mom, who was cruel and stuff like that. So I felt like Issa pretty much I felt like jealous of Eva, or I feel like she resented Ava so much. And I feel like with this, it talks more about their sisterhood, which I do appreciate. And there was a little bit of a love romance between Akito and Ava, which I did love as well. But the only thing that I didn't like, and the reason why I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, is that the ending. The ending was really, I felt like it was rushed when it was written. I think it could have been a little bit more expressed. I felt like there could have been more action. It was like bing, bang, boom, that's it. End of the duology. And with the ending, I felt like, okay, for how it was written and how it ended, I felt like you could squeeze in a 3rd book. That's how much I was like really upset. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's it? That's what I've been waiting for? That's the conclusion? I was really, really disappointed. It broke my heart because I was expecting a lot more, I feel like, and my expectations was up here because the first book was the bomb. But yeah, it was a little bit disappointing, but 3 out of 5 stars because I still enjoyed the book. It still kept me going because I wanted to know the ending, and then the ending was like, what? I was like, I got caught off guard. That's how, like, even my husband, I was like venting. After when I read this book, I'm like, are you serious? That's the ending? Could you have done something else? Like, yeah, that's what I was saying. And my husband was like, are you okay? I'm like, yes, I'm fine. I'm upset right now because this is one of the books I've been waiting for, and the ending just just fucked me up. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars for A Queen of the Gilded Horns by Amanda Joy. Last but not least, this is the book of the month pick that I also chose for April, and that is Love in Color by Balu Babalala. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I messed up the name. This is mythical tales from around the world retold. So it talks about love, pretty much love stories and what have you. Now how do I begin? Okay, so the love stories was great. I felt like once I got to the Nefertiti story, which I love Nefertiti, like it talks about goddesses and all that type of stuff, and I felt like I was just not interested anymore with the love stories. I feel like the love stories sort of got dry. It just wasn't catching my attention. So like I was this close of DNFing it because I was like, okay, I'm losing interest really quickly. Like, I don't know, the love stories, I feel like there should have been more. I feel like there wasn't, you know how when you read a romance book, there you could, like, when you read the words off the pages, you feel that passion and stuff like that, that love. I did not get that when I was reading some of these love stories. And so I just kept pushing myself. I was like, I do not want to DNF this book. I really do not, because I don't want this book to be my first DNF of the year. I really don't. I don't even want to DNF any books this year. I really don't. So with that alone, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep reading it. I'm gonna keep reading it. And I'm like, okay, like I like I said, I really did not want to DNF this book. So I kept on reading it, and I just felt like there should have been more passion within these love stories. I really literally, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I really feel like it was a 2.5, to be honest, because I just lost interest. Like I said, I love the concept of it, but I just wish there was more passion involved within these stories. Like, I love the goddesses and the mythical creatures, the mythical tales and everything like that. I love that concept, but within the stories, I felt like there could have been more, if that makes sense. So yeah, but yeah, so technically a 2.5, but I'm just gonna say a 3 out of 5 stars. So these are all the books that I read all in April. I think I could have read more, but I think I still did a pretty good job, if I say so myself. But yeah, these are all the books that I read in April. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.